Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress. If you like this video, if you like the channel in general, I would be very grateful if you could subscribe, that would be wonderful. In the third round of the 2016 London Chess Classic, former world champion Viswanathan Anand celebrated his 47th birthday. He had the black pieces against US grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura, who himself had his birthday during the first round of this tournament, and he suffered a crushing defeat against his compatriot Wesley So. Let's see how Anand got on his birthday. This is the position after the 20th move from Anand, rook A to E8. Board full of pieces, material is equal. Here Nakamura played knight C5, and you can say that knight is attacked twice and only defended once, but black cannot win a pawn here. If he plays bishop takes c5, d takes c5, queen takes c5, he has won a pawn, but white plays f takes g5, h takes g5, and then the very strong rook takes f6. Winning a piece, so you have to take it, but then there is knight e4 check with a discovered attack on the black queen, and white wins. So it's not good for black to try and win a pawn here. Anand saw that and played rook e7, intending to double the rooks on the e-file. Queen d2 from Nakamura, and that was a mistake. He said afterwards he had planned queen c1, because now black can take on c5. There's a lot of complicated variations, but in this case it does work. I will not show you those variations. Instead, Anand, after 22 minutes, decided on rook h e8. He didn't trust the pawn win on c5. Nakamura took on g5, h takes g5, just to make the black king a bit more open, and e4. And now black has problems with his g5 pawn. Knight takes e4, and here Nakamura said that he didn't really see any difference between knight c3 takes e4 or c5 takes e4. In some variations it's important that the bishop on d3 remains protected. So knight c3 takes e4 was the best move here, but it was very difficult to foresee. Nakamura took with the c5 knight, and after it was taken back, he took with the rook. Rook takes e4. This was not a good move, because now white's knight gets very active on e4. Knight takes e4 and queen g6. Anand does decide not to take the pawn on d4 and swap it for the pawn on g5. He wants to protect that pawn and give his king some more protection as well. It's interesting to see that he deliberately, voluntarily goes into a discovered attack, and Nakamura found the winning move. Knight takes g5. He did not play that. It looks very logical with a discovered attack on the queen, but black has a miraculous defense with rook e2. And then just to show you one variation, rook takes f7 check, queen takes f7, bishop takes e2, then there is queen f2, and the position is about equal. But Nakamura did not take on g5, he played a much stronger knight f6. Again, a discovered attack on the queen, and the rook e2 variation does not work now. Again, it's a very complex variation starting with knight e8 check. The best option here for black is to give his queen for rook and knight. Rook takes f6, king takes f6, and now Anand may have hoped for a fortress. He's very good at setting up fortresses, but in this case it doesn't work, and Nakamura played it really well. Let's see what happened. Queen c3, bishop d7, and d5 check. White is planning to win a pawn on the queen side and also destroy the solid black formation on that queen side. That will give his queen make his queen more active. Let's see how that works. Rook e5 to shield the check. Bishop e4. Of course, that bishop cannot be taken because the rook is pinned. g4 and d takes c6, b takes c6, bishop takes, and queen takes. So this maneuver has won white a pawn, but more importantly, it has created room for the queen, who is now very powerful and dominating black's pieces. King g5, queen d7, attacking the f7 pawn. You cannot play the pawn up to f5 because of queen g7 check, losing the rook. Funny variation. And Anand decided to play rook e3, counter-attacking white's pawn on g3. Queen takes f7, rook takes g3, and then queen d5 check. There are lots of double attacks by the queen in this position. The queen is so powerful, she has so much room to move around and show her strength. It's impossible for black to defend this. King h4 is the only square for the king. If you go to the 6th rank, then there's always a check of the queen and a double attack on the rook on g3. So king h4, only move. a4, white is planning to harass the well-anchored bishop on b6 to make that piece loose as well. Bishop f2, queen d8 check, king h5, queen e8 check. Apart from anything else, white has a million checks to keep annoying black, waiting for the right moment to have a double attack. King g5, queen e5 check, king g6, and after queen f4, Anand resigned. He also had a bad birthday in this tournament, the same as his opponent in the first round. Why did he resign? The bishop is attacked. If the bishop goes, for example, to e1, then there's queen e4 check with a double attack on king and bishop. So white wins material. And if, for example, you take the pawn on g2, protecting the bishop that way, then there's also a double attack with queen e4, this time on king and rook. The winner, Hikaru Nakamura, said after the game in his interview, "My plan was to play 22 queen c1, but then I changed my mind and played queen d2 instead, forgetting that pawn c5 was hanging." Black's move 22 rook h e8 is a mistake, and after that it was difficult to play accurately for both players. I have an 8-1 score against Anand in classical games. Recently I've had the white pieces against him, which helps, but this score does not reflect how strong a player Anand is. In a recent rapid tournament in St. Louis, he should have beaten me convincingly. So Nakamura, humble in victory, giving Anand the respect he deserves as a former world champion and one of the best players of all time. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments and replying to them. This is Rick from Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.